Hi, everybody. Welcome back to In Moments of Inyeon. Today, we are going to be joined by another fantastic guest, and together we are going to dive into the beautiful topic of art and moments of Inyeon, moments of destiny, moments of purpose. Throughout history, artists have engaged with themes of destiny, fate, and free will. Art can have a therapeutic effect and have a connection with destiny through the process of self-discovery and personal growth. By engaging with art, we can explore our inner world, gain insights into our emotions, and make choices that align with our true self, potentially influencing the path we take in life and shaping our own destiny through our creations. Do you believe that art is part of a predetermined destiny? Do you think we can connect with our moments of purpose by accessing the wonderful world of art? We're going to talk about all this and much more in today's episode. So let's start. All right, you guys, welcome back. Our guest today is my friend Amanda. Amanda, welcome to In Moments of Inyeon. Thank you for being here. How are you today?
I am very good. Thanks, Silvia. I'm incredibly excited and honored to be here. I don't do podcasts, so I'm really just excited to get it done with you and really interested in exploring more about my own art. So that's really nice.
Thank you, Amanda. Amanda and I are reasonably new friends as we met not long ago through a mutual friend. Amanda is a contemporary artist whose journey from Italy, France, and Belgium to London inspires as sculptural and multimedia artwork. Amanda draws inspiration from urban landscape and Sicilian traditions and creates artwork by using recycled materials while raising awareness over environmental issues and consciousness. At the same time, Amanda explores themes of identity, place, and memory. Recently, she had a wonderful exhibition at the Barbican Centre and other venues across London that I'm sure she will tell us all about it. Before we dive into this beautiful journey of art and moments of Inyeon, I would like to ask you my first question. The reason why I'm asking this question to our guests is to help our audience to understand the link between Inyeon and encounters. We are still very new as a podcast. Today is only our third episode. So to say that in Korean Buddhist philosophy, Inyeon means providence, fate, destiny. Inyeon refers to how relationships form over many lifetimes, and it helps believes that people who meet and become close are looped into each other's Inyeon threads. The catch is to recognize those moments and to trust our intuitions when they happen. Not all encounters are moments of Inyeon, but all moments of Inyeon are encounters with purpose. So, Amanda, do you think we are looped into each other's Inyeon threads? And if so, would you like to share a moment of Inyeon that you had with me when we met?
Yeah. Thank you, Silvia. Wow, learning so much already. And thanks for the incredible introduction. I was like, wow, thank you so much. I guess, as you said, we haven't met since long time. So it's a fresh connection we built and we established. And I would divide our connection, the way we met into two. So when we initially met was at this party of the mutual friend you alluded to. And I had a great vibe from you. I was like, wow, this girl, she's awesome. We had fun, we connected on what I would say now was a superficial level, but at the moment felt still very deep. And I felt we had a great night, we had jokes. So I knew you were great. And I was like, yeah, I'm having a good time with her. And that was it. I don't think was Moment of Inyeon. Was really just a great night we spent in this party. But then when I met you again for the second time, and you kindly came to visit and to see my exhibition at the Barbican. That was the moment, I think, where we connected more profoundly. Again, I didn't know much about you, but you felt so connected with one of my art pieces, and you know which one I'm talking about, the Rebirth. And I loved that. I felt like, wow, this art piece is really speaking to Silvia. So we are connected on a deeper level because this is speaking to her. And the way you were looking at that art piece, the way you came to me and said the poem about the rebirth that was attached to the art piece was speaking to you, and you came to tell me, we took pictures about it. I was like, wow, she feels seen in that art piece. And that made me realize how much I discovered about you in that moment. And that was really powerful to me. Yeah, that was, yes.
Thank you. I think we felt more or less the same thing. I think our journey of encounter was really similar in terms of what we felt. I think my moments of Inyeon connect with the concept of Inyeon found in Korean Buddhism that believes that relationships are part of our destiny, even fleeting encounters. It is said that there is Inyeon even if two strangers walk past in the street and their clothes accidentally brush, because this means there must have been something between them in their past lives. So if Inyeon is also just the mere brushing of clothes, I believe that the connection is actually much bigger when people start to interact. The reason why I'm saying this, and I promise I'm going somewhere with this, is because when we first met, I thought our encounter was a fleeting Inyeon moment, like you just said. We met at a party, like you said. We had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. We laughed a lot. I instantly loved your sense of humor, your facial expression, and I thought you were really fun, funny, and witty. And I also said to myself what a wonderful Inyeon encounter that was. But I thought he would stay in the fleeting limbo. What made it a deeper destiny moment for me was when you invited me to your art exhibition in Barbican. It felt like your art resonated with your purpose and it unveiled the blueprint of your destiny. At the same time, it felt like you were living your own true destiny through your art. And I absolutely loved your exhibition. And like you said, you felt that I was really connected with two pieces, I would say, the rebirth and the bond. And it felt as all your art pieces compelled you to stand tall and not to shrink. But it felt as that was a message for myself too. A reminder that I was not alone in this journey of life. Yeah. And it felt like the energy behind your art, like a divine energy, saw me and cared about myself and my journey. So that night, I felt seen and understood. Reassurance and validation to know that I was not alone and that you and maybe other people present then were feeling the same connection and the idea that we are all climbing the same mountains. So that was the moment that shifted my perspective from a fleeting Inyeon encounter with you to a proper piece of a puzzle destiny moment. Would you like to share?
Explain it so well. It's incredible. This is the purpose of art. Yes. Realistically, make universal what I felt, you felt it too. And
thank you for feeling the same energy between, our experience. Would you like to share a little bit more about yourself, your journey? I'm actually curious to know if you use your artistic expression to understand yourself in a deeper level, maybe your destiny, your purpose, your values.
Yeah, it's way more complex and chaotic than that. So I come from a family of artists in a way. So my granddad was sculpture and my grandmother was able to manipulate textile. So the art that I make is, I have to do it. I must deliver it because it's basically sculpture that is built with textile in it. And I think I learned my basis from them. But the main thing I want to deliver with my art is really exploring the inner selves and the way we have different identities in all of us. And we can, in the same moment, inhabit those different selves. So back to the sculpture. Why sculpture? I was always fascinated by sculpturing and by the idea that there are volumes. And while I appreciate, of course, painting and, bidimensional art, I was always very attracted to volumes. Again, because I do love building art pieces that naturally have shades and light in it because of the volumes that is in it. So to demonstrate and to show the natural shades and light that we do inhabit. And the exhibition you saw was called Alter Ego, in fact, to show the different egos we inhabit, and it's really a way to celebrate these different identities and embrace the dark sides as well, rather than escaping from them. This is the way I see my art, a way for me to explore my own different selves, and hopefully this resonates with the visitors and with the other people. And that's why sculpture is my main medium, I would say.
I'm curious to know how much you knew, or if you knew anything about the philosophy of Inyeon before this podcast.
I didn't. So I did prepare. I did watch your none of this was, but there is spirituality in the way I conduct life, and generally there is spirituality in art. But again, my art doesn't exist to give a lesson or to provide a lesson to anyone. It's just an escapism for me, a way to deliver what I have inside. It's a necessity, I would say. And even the art creation itself, it's quite messy. Like the inspiration comes and I have to start sculpturing. I have to do it. Sometimes I work at night purely because it's something that has to be done. And then once it's done, I am relieved, if it makes sense, even if it's not perfect and I have to perfect it later on. But at least I know that the basis of it is done. It's part of my identity so deeply. And then the coronation of it is when people actually come and see it. And this resonates to them. So they come to me and they basically share what this art piece made them feel. And they come up with the most random interactions. Sometimes for example, I have one of the pieces that is called The Shouting Mind, La Mente Urlante, came up in Italian, of course. And that piece scares me that much that I have it at home, but I have it upside down through the wall. Basically represents an eye that represents the eye of the mind. I just can't look at it. And this is the most loved piece in my collection, in my portfolio. That piece won even a competition to be in the London Design Festival. So people love that piece and I can't even look at it. So it's really interesting how art can communicate so deeply and so differently to everyone. And maybe I'm going to a tangent here. I'm sorry, Silvia.
No. The reason why I asked you that, if you knew about the philosophy of Inyeon, because you just said something. You said embracing the dark side, the non-stigma towards our dark side, which has a deep connection with the philosophy of Inyeon. So subconsciously, maybe your energy was already living that principle. Actually, the idea of embracing, not having any stigma towards our dark side, is connected with the principle of ahimsa, or the principle of non-violence, which is found in the Genesis philosophy and in the 8 limbs of yoga. Funny enough, I spoke about this in the first episode. And it says that we should have an attitude on non-violence towards our suffering and pain too, so towards our dark side too. Because meta-philosophy, a Buddhist philosophy, says that if I know that, for instance, I am light, I also know I am darkness. If I know that I am happiness, I also know that I'm suffering. I feel like you were already really close to the energy of this philosophy without even knowing.
And that's exactly as you explained, that's the point of sculptures and the point of, I'm not even giving more power to the dark side. It's putting them to an equal layer and to an equal level. While I'm not stigmatizing the dark sides and then galvanizing the good ones, I'm just accepting that in each one of us, both coexist and we have a both side of the identity. So that comes from self-reflection, of course, but it's not something that I just want people to have to reflect on this and to kind of accept it and try to embrace it through art.
Thank you. I believe that art and destiny are connected through the process of self-discovery and personal growth. Art is seen as a non-verbal space for people to express themselves and explore their thoughts, feelings, experiences, and it can help people to process difficult emotions and traumas by providing a safe and supportive environment. Even the National Library of Medicine has published many articles on how art therapy can be used to treat mental illnesses. It can help people to explore the sense of meaning and purpose in life by facilitating reflection. And I truly believe that art can empower people by giving them a sense of meaning over their artistic expression. Could you share with us your thoughts and experiences about this process of art being connected to destiny?
Wow, thanks for the question. Again, it's an honor to me that, we are going through this, because I'm really honored that we're going through this for my art.
Thank you.
The true inspiration for me for art and for my art pieces come from poems. So it's not, again, it's not like I build the sculpture first. Since I can remember, as far as I can remember, since I'm a child, I've been writing poems at any given time of my life. Good moments, traumatic experience, but was also a way to put into paper and recollect my dreams. So sometimes I have a very vivid and lucid dreams. And as soon as I wake up, I write a poem about it. This has been forever since I'm a kid. And then most recently, I went through all the poems I wrote in the last 10 years. And I start building sculptures out of it to build a representation of the meaning of those poems. Because I wanted to give back and I wanted to provide some context, but sharing poems felt too intimate. So I wanted to build a sort of a mirror to it, a layer. So I thought that maybe building art that is a visual representation of the poems could be intimate enough for me to handle. So yeah, I think this has helped me massively. So poetry has helped me throughout my entire life massively through trauma, to good things, to things that I want to remember. It's a conscious decision. I basically write poems of the things I want to remember, either good or bad. And so you referred to identity. So I think poetry is really embedded in my identity and as a need, as a necessity for me to really function as a human. It's really embedded since I'm a kid. So art, as in paintings and sculpture, came very recent as an extension of that.
In yoga, we say that yoga practice on and off the mat is a representation of our life. What you just said, it's very important to be able to attend difficult emotions. So do you think there is this link in art too, that you are actually using this reflection, this mirror?
Absolutely, because those poems that La mente urlante, Broken Glass is a very empowering poem. The Bond, the one you like, the Rebirth as well. The Rebirth talks about muscle tear to grow. So it's, the idea that from suffering you build, So there is a strong connection into that. Yeah, I truly believe that art is the way we allow whatever happens to us to forge us in a positive or negative way. So art is just a representation of how we actually deal with life. That's how I see it. I know it sounds very general, but that's quite what it is.
Thank you. I feel like art is also a powerful tool for social analysis. And by creating art that raises awareness over environmental issues or gives different perspectives, artists can help to shape the collective destiny of a community or society. And I feel like that you also use art to raise environmental awareness and empower movements for change. Could you share with us your vision?
Thank you. Yes. So I basically believe in affordable art. I basically believe in art that should be affordable for everyone. So I want to create art pieces that are unique, but also affordable. So I utilize recycled materials to ensure that the cost is always low, so everybody can have some pieces into their home. And I truly believe in respecting and being environmental friendly. Basically, I do it as part of my daily life. I cycle all the time. I don't buy new clothes. I buy secondhand. I tend to fix whatever is broken, buy secondhand furniture. So this is already what I do. And in my art, I basically utilize secondhand canvas, recycled textile, and recycled materials. And usually when I go see my family in Sicily, I take all the textile from there and I embed them in my art. And that kind of makes them even more vivid, because it's silks and satins and really good textile coming directly from another country and a completely different background. So this is how I think I can shape an environmental friendly art. And on top of that, I genuinely like and appreciate the idea that nothing really gets lost. As we were talking about different identities in terms of, in this moment, I have darks and lights, but also I have other identities that I still carry from the past, and this is why I use secondhand stuff. I do like the idea that somebody else has used that canva in the past, and I truly believe that somehow something of their experience is carried in the new art piece, and nothing really is lost of that identity. I truly believe that art pieces can speak to us with the material they're built.
So would you say that art is energy that never ends to exist?
Yeah, thank you.
But just change form?
Yes, I truly believe that. When I see, there is one close friend of mine that that she's buying one of my pieces, and the silk come from my grandmother silks back home. So when I see that, I see her, I see my grandmother. So I see literally the silk that she saving for me when, the kind of thing that back home you do, like you save the good stuff later. And I actually, instead of using it for me, I built it into an art piece. So I truly believe in the value and the energy, as you said, that things carry naturally.
I love what you just said. I think is very powerful. The concept of family and your art, because it actually connects you again with another really strong bond that Inyeon has into what you just said. It's called inherited and ancestral Inyeon, referring to the idea that actions of past generations can influence the life of the descendants. So it feels like you were already finding the connection with Inyeon. Like I said before, maybe subconsciously, maybe something pulled you into this path. Yeah. And then you were already connecting with the energy. And your destiny was written, following the philosophy of Inyeon, your destiny was written the moment that your soul decided to be born in your family as the person that's supposed to carry on your family legacy through your artistic and creative sides, to be used for a purpose or with a purpose. And I'm curious to know if you found the link between the inherited and ancestral Inyeon art and the purpose.
I think I'm discovering as we speak. Like, I'm learning so much. Again, coming from a family of artists back home, family from my dad's side, they are artists in the meaning that they build marionettes big as humans, they build textiles. So I always felt that somehow I would have been related to that. I would deliver on something creative. But I never kind of put my finger on it, because we are also actors in my family. So I never knew what would have been poems, poetry, acting. Yeah, like it was always a bit of a confusing experience. Art has never been the end game. Being an artist has never been the final end game. To me is more like the channel to. So when I started exhibiting in London, and I ended up in the Barbican, was never like the idea I want to exhibit in the Barbican. I wanted to really build a connection, because honestly, this city can be fairly complex and sometimes is fairly makes you feel a bit distant. And I wanted to support the foreign and the migrant community. So basically, I wanted to find a way to connect with people like me who left our home country a long time ago, but still we feel that connection. So I wanted to build a platform where people can come and meet that was not for a drink, which, I don't think resonates with me. So I started, building art. And then one of my closest friends, she's a curator. And she was like, now you need to stop giving stuff away. You just need to build your own exhibition. And she supported me on that front. She supports a charity called Latin Hands. I support her. Basically, Latin Hands, the vision of this project aligns so much with what I just said, because Latin Hands is a community that supports Latin American migrants, but also every migrant that comes to London. So I was like, okay, my art fits with this purpose and fits with this vision because I'm a migrant myself. So again, art was never the end game, it was always a medium to connect people in a meaningful way somehow. And most likely will change in 1 year time. I will just stop doing that if there is a better channel to unify people. And that was my
think we've finding a lot of pieces of your puzzles. I think we just discovered another piece of the puzzle that connects you with the philosophy of Inyeon, this idea of community.
It's really strong for me that.
Inyeon has a strong connection with a Korean word. This word is uri, which means we as a community. It's the idea of keep strengthening and nurturing the bond between people through the energy of compassion and kindness. I think your link between inherited Inyeon and your purpose is the idea of compassion and kindness towards this community that you just shared with us.
Thank you.
My next question
for it.
is a two-part question. So do you believe that we can connect with our moments of Inyeon, destiny, purpose, by accessing the wonderful world of art? And do you think that this journey of yours is connected with moments of Inyeon? If so, could you share any with us?
Yes, that's the answer. I think there is connection. I think art is a medium to really unfold our legacy and, our purpose. As you just open up my eyes about the community piece, and I realized just now how strong it is for me. I guess for me, the moment was, again, when I was going through my poems and I wanted to share it with somebody, not because of the quality. I just felt this urge, this necessity, because I felt I've been always incredibly private in my life. And I decided I wanted to have I wanted to share things in case somebody in London or in the UK with a similar past of mine would have felt the same. So maybe ask the question, maybe somebody would feel the same. So I think that was the moment for me, the switch, where I felt maybe there is value in these poems. Maybe somebody else like me felt the same in the last 10 years about living in the UK, about living as a foreign. And I thought, okay, now let's find a medium to share these reflections to somebody else. And this is how art came up. I don't know if that answered your question.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I really think that this journey of yours is connected with these three elements that I mentioned before. Is the inherited and ancestral Inyeon, the Uri, the community, and also the principle of nonviolence towards our dark side. I think that those are the puzzle pieces that connects you with this philosophy. During our last episode, we launched a little segment called Without Margins. We are going to dive into it today too. I'm just going to remind our audience what Without Margins is. Just imagine being the character on one of those coloring books, and you start coloring all the images of yourself without though being worried about the margins, the edges of the pictures. Now, imagine starting bringing colors within your life, as in adventures, new experiences, without though thinking about the limitation of the five senses. So this segment is about asking questions, hypothetical questions, as if we were experiencing something with a body that didn't have a physical form and wasn't limited by our five senses, which are our edges, our margins. So my without margins question for you, Amanda, today is: human beings are three-dimensional beings. You are a three-dimensional being who creates two-dimensional and three-dimensional pieces of art. Time, though, is often referred to as the fourth dimension. That leads to believe that humans are, in essence, four-dimensional human beings, because our existence spans across all four dimensions. That doesn't mean, though, that we have a four-dimensional physical form, like a geometric solid. Our bodies are still understood to be three-dimensional. So remember, this is a question as if we didn't have a physical form or physical margins. Art represents moments in time. For some people, these moments are static. If you could jump within your artwork, what would you do to make your pieces capture the element of time? What would you do to make art move beyond the static representation and includes the expression of time passing? Take your time, there is no rush. You remember there is a movie actually with Robbie Williams called What Dreams May Come. In this movie, his character dies and he ends up in heaven. This heaven is a mere representation of his imagination. And the landscape of this heaven is none other than one of the painting of his wife. So if you could slide, if you could jump within your artwork.
That movie is incredible. I have really fond memories of that movie. My dad doesn't go to the cinema. And this is one of the very rare movies we saw together. And he still to this day remembers it. That movie is incredible. I saw it in Italian, of course. Thanks for reminding me that of a very fond memory of mine. I would say that it's a difficult question, but I guess time, the way I see time in my art is something I have alluded to a bit in the past, earlier today. So people see sculpture maybe or a shape. I see my family there. I see Sicily there because I do see the materials that I grabbed back home, and those materials are old, from 20, 40 years ago. My grandmother's inherited or my mom inherited textile. So I see time passing into my art pieces. But also something really strange happened in my last exhibition. So I had one exhibition in May in the Barbican, the one you attended. And I had another exhibition in central London in August. And I had somebody coming to both. However, this is the strange part because this person came to both and was looking, the pieces were the same, literally. Like I can assure you were the same pieces. And this person came to me and said, "Is this piece new?" I was like, "I haven't seen it in the Barbican." "No, you saw it. You simply didn't see it. It didn't resonate to you at the time." And he was like, "No, I'm sure I would have remembered this piece because I love it this much now. You love it this much now in August. And instead in May when you didn't even see it." So this is how I see time, like people come and see my art pieces and they realistically can feel different with the time passing. And sometimes it's really about how open you can be to really connect with art and being able to explore and open up, really self-reflect, because again, comes from the self-reflection. So I think time is really linked with that. It's a long answer, I don't know.
It was a beautiful answer. Thank you for sharing that. Just for fun, do you have a without margins question for me?
Okay. I guess it can be about everything, anything.
Yeah, anything. The way you perceive or interpret this concept of without margins.
I really liked the idea that you mentioned about fourth dimension or the sort of somehow intangible. I like the idea that, yes, we are human. We have physical dimension, but there is something, we can't really put the finger on. So my question would be more around, is there a specific episode in your life that you remember that something intangible happened that you can't really put your finger on it, but that moment had to happen for you to be who you are now? If you want to share it or like...
I don't think so. The reason is because my meditations are really deep. So when I meditate, which now throughout the years, my meditation changed a lot, but I am actually more connected with that energy than the five senses energies. So everything happened to me or everything happened to me in the past. I don't think it was a surprise, if it makes sense, because I'm really connected with just energy. That's why I create this little segment with our margins, because I love the idea that if we could actually, like the microphone, for instance, if I didn't have one of the senses, the touch, my finger will go through the microphone.
Yeah.
And I love the idea that somehow we can actually experience that while we are really deep into meditation.
This is so beautiful.
I know probably doesn't really make much sense.
This is so beautiful, Silvia. This is so profound. The idea of the energy that you just shared, the way it feels connected to you, like you really exude this strong, compelling energy with you. I don't know, it's just really strong.
I would love if we could actually experience why we live in this three-dimensional life or four-dimensional life. If we could actually be able not to see any margins, for instance, if we could not see the limitation or the margins between our arms and the energy and the atoms around us, if we could see everything like together.
Wow.
Like, as we just mentioned meditation, we are going to share a really short meditation with our audience. That has become our little routine now. Because in today's episode, we spoke about art and creativity, creation, and the ability to access our own destiny through art. We are going to do this meditation while visualizing the color orange. Orange is the color that connects us with our second chakra, our sacral chakra. We will discuss chakras in more details in one of our future episodes. For today, just think that this color connects us with creativity and creation. Every time we want to create something in life, like for instance, us recording this episode, having dinner tonight, a business meeting, Amanda writing a poems or making a pieces of art, everything is created by the energy of our second chakra that also generates this color orange. Orange also is the color that allows us to connect with the energy of letting go and going with the flow. So let's start painting our own lives, bodies, and minds, and fueling our creativity by visualizing this color while doing this really tiny meditation. As usual, we will connect with the breath and with some mantras. So we start by breathing in, visualizing the color orange coming within our body and mind, and use the mantra, I allowed the energy of creation to enter my body, my mind, my life. Breathing out, releasing, letting go of the color orange, and using the mantra, I am content and I am creation itself. You can do this as many times as you want as a repetition. And as we know now, the metta meditation doesn't need to be done in a meditation room only, neither in a quiet room. You can do it while you're walking your dogs, while you're jogging, while Amanda's doing hard work, because we can reach the state of sati, the state of meditation, while we are connecting with these activities. Ultimately, the idea of art being part of a predetermined destiny is just a matter of perspective. So, Amanda, do you have any final thoughts on the connection between art and moments of Inyeon?
I guess you really helped me today unlocking the purpose, and I feel even more compelled now to continue and to bring back to the community and build art that resonates with other people. So yeah, I'm just thankful for this opportunity.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Art is often seen for its ability to facilitate emotional healing, mental well-being, and spiritual awakening by helping people to be present in the moment while practicing metta and mindfulness. Why some people view the artist's creative process as predetermined, others believe that individual choice and free will in artistic creation have a role. And some others believe that it is only thanks to a predetermined destiny that we are able to gain, to achieve self-discovery, personal growth, and emotional healing through art. As always, there is no single answer and there is not a right or wrong. As usually artists say, the most sensual people understand that there are nuances or shades, like Amanda said, to everything. All right, you guys, we reached the end of our episode. So thank you, Amanda, for being our guest, and thank you for sharing all your knowledge with us.
Thank you, Silvia.
Thank you guys for tuning in. If you like to support or share, please don't forget to subscribe to any of your favorite streaming platforms. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and also now on TikTok. So we are growing. See you next time. Until then, keep following your red threads and keep living mindfully in moments of Inyeon. Bye, guys. Bye, Amanda.
Bye.